the Kitchener stitch. I have an equal number of stitches on each needle. If you look at this side, these are knit stitches. On the inside, they're purl stitches. What you need to remember with the Kitchener stitch is each stitch needs to be worked 2 times. Now, I'm starting with my yarn in back. Let's just set up to do the Kitchener stitch. Our first stitch in the front, that's our knit side. Because we're going into it the first time, you go in the opposite direction of the stitch. So the first time you go in purlwise, and then that'll stay on the needle. Go to your back stitch. Those are purl stitches. First time through the stitch, go through it knitwise. That stays on the needle. Now we go back to the front. We've already gone through this stitch 1 time. So now we go through it the nature of the stitch, which is a knit stitch. So we go through it knitwise, and it comes off the needle. Let's go to the next stitch on that front needle. This is the first time we're working this stitch. We go through it purlwise, and it stays on the needle. The back stitch has already been worked 1 time. We go through it purlwise for our second round, and it comes off the needle. The stitch right next to it, it's a purl stitch. First time through, go through it knitwise, and that will stay on the needle. Second time, go through it knitwise and off the needle, purlwise, purlwise, and off the needle, knitwise, knitwise, and off the needle, purlwise, purlwise, and off the needle, knitwise, knitwise, and off the needle, purlwise, purlwise, knitwise, knitwise, and off the needle, purlwise, purlwise, and off the needle. Whoops, kind of went around the back. Just watch your yarn there. Purlwise and off the needle, knitwise, knitwise, and off the needle, and your last stitch, purlwise, and you are done. Now I'll pull these and straighten them out to tighten them, but there you go. There's your Kitchener stitch. It's really not as hard as you think it is. It's pretty easy. Just remember, each stitch, work twice. The first time you go into the stitch, you go in the opposite direction of the nature of the stitch. The second time you go through the stitch, you go in the direction of the nature of the stitch, and it comes off the needle. That's all you really need to know.